What's up everyone, welcome back to a new video on the Alien Outlook channel. Today we'll be going over the markets again per usual. So with that having said, let's get straight into it. So we'll start at the daily. That daily close has been pretty nice, where we had a logical retrace back into this massive daily candle. And here we made a bullish close indicating a higher low. So this is looking quite well, and already what did we see? You need to know what is the closing price. Was 108.266, which was right here, and you see how we swept right below that close. We went back up, and from there we got that massive impulse. I'll quickly check if I have a logical chart that doesn't have that much data. Remove this anyways, and here we have that close, right? So we need to know, for me the close is at 2 a.m. What do we see? So that close has been made right around this candle. So now that we know this, we see our price. Wait, it actually needs to, yeah, no, it should be right around this point instead. See, this was yesterday's close, right? So what do we see? Price fell below that close, give a bearish retest, give us a short opportunity there, and here we started to reverse. But when did this massive impulse start? When we reclaimed the close of yesterday's open. So the closing price of that one day candle from yesterday, you already see it right here again, which was that, you can see it here on the top of our screen, which says C108.203. So we know that the close happened at 203, right? What do we see? We see it gaining above that 200 level, and then that massive impulse started. So keep that in mind, those daily levels are quite important. So just wanted to point this out real quick. So the allocation is done for the day already. But let's get into the logical chart, because what did we say yesterday? There was such a lack of volume that if we get a big move, it should be made on the Sunday and not on the Saturday. So I had to put one trade into each video. This is just my rule. So here you already see how this one played out. Was quite a bad trade in my opinion, because I don't like to put this low of a target. But when the volume is so low, you should know those movements in terms of the rotations up and down are just very small. So here the trade hit perfectly, almost hit that as well, but who cares, the trade became a winner, right? So now let's look at what we have right now. So we had this previous key level, which was that daily naked POC on this way up, and we made this key pivot right here again. Got resistance, broke above, get that massive impulse, hold here again. And what did we get? We started forming a lower time frame range, right? On that Friday to Saturday, where we just ranged and nothing else. So what do we know with a range? It's a compression, and the longer the compression is, the bigger the move after. So what do we see? We see we are still playing inside of that compression. We make a bullish retest of these levels while taking out these wicks. I really hoped we would take out this wick as well, but we did not. We really front ran this. So if you would really have been static and just only waited for this to be swept, you would have been on the sideline right now. So and that's a little thing why I always say react to what prices do, because otherwise you can get fucked with these types of things. Because here, what did we see on that early morning? We saw the sweep of this, and we see the reclaim of that closing price, which was right around here again, right? Where I pointed out this interim level, that if we really start to break this, we should see an impulse at least to the top of this range again, and we casually broke through it. So this is looking really well in my opinion, where if we even go down to this 1 minute, it still looks really fucking nice. So now let's go on to that 4 hour, where we see what that next target should be. We are currently inside of this resistance. So remember how I pointed out this resistance back then? This is quite similar. See how this point in price action when you compare it to this point. So this is really something we need to clear, because otherwise we can be getting something like this where we just flood down anyways, right? So I will clean up the chart a little bit, because I don't think these are even important anymore right now, where the only thing that could be retested could be this, and otherwise we should just be getting into this, because now the range is invalidated because it broke, right? Simple logic. And here we will be drawing a box yet again, and also these levels. Now, where did we get these from again? We just simply drew a Fibonacci on this daily candle, and we were giving this 0.75 level, 0.5 level, 0.25. Perfectly rejected from this, because when we go on to that 30 minutes, we see how clear this was. It was clear as day. You had this level, you got support here, you later broke through it with volume, and also within this part of price action, there was a lack of volume. So we'll go onto the volume chart in a bit, where we show this, and what do we see? We break through and we hold on that level. But now I don't think it's relevant anymore, so I will be removing it. Max is a bit early for me, so throat is still fucked up, but we're here anyways, so this should be that key resistance for now. And when we go back to the volume chart, we'll go a little bit more deeper into those levels, but we'll first start at that ETH chart, where we see how great of a reaction this really is, where we had this little compression right around that 0.5 level, which we broke down from back to that 0.25 level. We got a retest, making a higher low based upon this low, and here we are almost back at that 0.5 level again. So, like I stated, on a 1 day, we really want to clear this, because then we can really look at those range highs again, which is of course a very nice move if we calculate this from that 0.5. Oh, it's going through right there. Look at this, from the 0.5 to the range highs is about 6.3%, which could be quite a nice trade. So let's get into that volume chart, because I think for ETH the levels are really clear right here. It's just these range levels are also correlating with previous lows right here. This is correlating with a previous high, with this being that really higher time frame range. If we go on to that 1 day, you clearly see how this is that range high, right? Here, your range low, your 0.5. So if I won't be going over that much in depth, because it's quite clear, and for now I do think it should just keep following BTC, but it will be a bit more explosive, because now we're looking at that BTC chart, and you see if we really manage to clear the 0.5 level, we should get really quick towards that 0.5 level. If we clear the 0.5 level, alts will go crazy in my opinion again, for at least a couple days until we're back at range highs, and then we can look at either a breakout or a reaction, where we maybe do something like this in a bear case, where we do trade into this, we just make a rotation back down towards the 0.5, chop around a bit where everyone is guessing themselves, thinking, oh yeah, alt season is gone again, because then we would have a rally for like a week, and then we would have a bit of a retrace for like a week or two, and then go back up. Where in this range, of course, everyone will question themselves, like, is alt season really coming? Which is when alt season will become. When no one's prepared, that's when it will be here. Right, so let's go into that volume chart right now. Here you see the scenario that I pointed out, where I really expected us to take out this wick, but what was our major confluence? Yet again, you see this high volume node, which we retested, and here we would have had our confirmation of this level holding. So this really is looking quite good, but what do we need to clear? Just like here, you have that high volume node again. So remember guys, what did we do? We held the high volume node, sliced through the low volume, and now we are getting resistance at that high volume node again. So keep in mind, these high volume and low volume nodes are really important. So where is this level again? Go back to that regular chart. You already see it. Those are your previous lows, which now also correlates with a high volume node. So keep in mind that this level is really crucial, and if we manage to flip this, we should just teleport to this again, which would be a more smaller move, be right around 0.65%. And before that, then we should be looking at this level right here again, which is this high. And look at the right side again. Yes, that's a high volume node. And look at the left side. See, this is where we had previous reactions as well. So these will be those levels, not bad, where here we can get some resistance logically. And we currently are seeming to get this as well. So I won't go to, yeah, this is looking a little bit bad. Like this could be the end of the move for today. But what will be our triggers? I do think, if we look at this from a volume perspective, where is that daily range? Going to the 30-minute chart for this to let it calculate. There we have it. You can, by the way, easily replicate this with the volume profile. I'll quickly show you guys. It's the fixed range volume profile, but I just made it automated because I'm a lazy motherfucker. Where here, you look at that daily close, because this profile is based on a 1 day. This all depends on your settings, of course. So we go from 1 day, the close, to this, right around here, the previous close. Switch from 1 day to 1 day. No, that's not correct. I see it. Yeah, it's not. This is my other account. But here you see it. It goes from the close to the close. I just did not change the visuals on this TradingView account. So we see right here that this also was your prior range where you deviated below the low, and now we are starting to go back up. We do have a previous value area right here. So I think that if we lose this, we should rotate back down into that high volume again, where this should be a trigger that if we really hold this, we should just keep continuing to trade up. But if we do lose this, we should rotate down at least back to these levels right here, which is this lack of volume, right? Where then we could catch this move to make a higher low and reverse back up. So keep these levels in mind. And for the breakout, of course, we should be looking at the tail, meaning the top of this profile, right? So where is that top? I'll quickly remove this again. If we look at this, quite logical, this is your current high. So if we continue breaking from this high, I do think we will trade further. Oh, it's not supposed to happen. Yeah, here we go. If we break up from this, that we should just keep continuing until that next high volume level, which was right around here. So keep these levels in mind. It's quite clear that we are trending a little bit again, but this is a Sunday, so the weekend is a little less volatile and has less liquidity, so it's easier for market makers to move the price on these type of days. So now that we have had the daily market outlook, I'll go over a couple tokens that were questions about on Twitter. So I will go on to this right now, and I will make it a little bit easier for myself. Right, so I will be putting on the trend scanner with these volume profiles automated. So let's remove all the drawings and let's go into these pairs. Right here we have Satus, which is a very nice pair to trade. This follows Susui, it's their main DEX, so this is quite a good pair to trade in my opinion. where if we look at this, it's clearly at resistance. This is why I tell you the power of trend scanners. My volume profile hasn't even loaded, and I can already tell you that it's at resistance. You also see this naked POC here, which we do need to be clearing this level, because otherwise you will most likely revert back down. So what should we be looking at? Right here, either this type of play where we get back into this area and then we can look for a second impulse, or we need to clear this area, right? So this will be it for status. I will go over them really quickly, and I will only look at a 30-minute time frame, so there is more relevance to those trades. Okay, the next one I will ask is deep. I don't know if there's even a perpetual for this one. Nice. So let's load that volume profile, which I do think this point of price is quite interesting. We had this rejection here, we held support, and currently we are getting a rejection on it again. So this will be a level to flip for me. Right around here. And let's look back at the past. Yes, already. We see that this level also has been respected in the past, right? So this will be a crucial level to flip, in my opinion, for us to see more upside. If we do manage to flip this level, what should we be looking at? First, these prior highs, which when we talk about prior highs, we don't mean this exact wick. We mean these 2 points. So that's not how I was supposed to draw it, more like this. Right, because here you had your high, you had your anomaly above, you had a second high, you had a third high, and here, this is where you rejected from. So if we clear this, we should trade into this, right? And from then we can look at those naked POCs, but otherwise you should logically just retrace back into here, and if we do lose this low, because I don't know anything about this pair, to be honest, in terms of fundamentals, so this does look like a crucial low to hold, because otherwise you will most likely trade back into this, maybe even with an anomaly hitting this naked POC again. So this looks quite well. Let's go over that next one, which is the pair my mentor really likes. I'll use that Binance chart for this. Yeah, looks to be underperforming right now. Yeah, it's clear resistance right here, but what level should we be looking at? Logical perspective, right around here. Yeah, this. Yeah, it really looks like it's underperforming, but there is that good thing that if we really break out of this, that on a higher time frame, I don't even want to zoom out because I already know that here you have your 1, 2, and 3. So if we are able to replicate this right here, what does that mean? That on a higher time frame, you have a double bottom. So if we really manage to clear this zone, I think we will be trading explosive towards the upside. But for that to happen, we need to clear this area of price. So, and let's look at it again. Where does this zone again end? It also has this previous low, right? So this really is a key area to flip, and otherwise we are perhaps even looking at this low. But with how ETH and BTC are trading, it could also be likely that we just do some shit like this, where we compress a little and then start to explode again. So look at this little range high, where I will actually draw it to make it a little bit more clear. Right around here. I need to zoom in, but I really don't care. Here, yeah, this little point. So these will be the sandwich for now, where we are currently trading in between. If we really hold this, I don't think we will see this, but if we hold this, we should be getting a little bit of a compression before breaking out. The next one of those pairs which I really like, I was actually get a no, okay, perpetual chart for this. Bangle, which today it has been a little bit of underperformer in terms of other memes when we compare them. But it still looks quite good in my opinion. Where if we remove the volume profile for now, and we see how this trend is moving, what can we tell from this? We should know that if price is trading above and getting pullbacks in between, price is technically trending up. If we are trading below and retesting it like this, we are technically trending down. So what is that level to flip? You're right, those previous lows. So it's right around here. So if we don't manage to flip this, we should logically trade into this, which now let's look at the price action again. Yep, there's massive correlation yet again, which if we take this little point and now look at this was your prior imbalance, which later got fixed. So if we don't reclaim this, I do think we should be trading into this, maybe even with a little tag of this red box. So keep that in mind that currently Vanguard is showing a little bit of weakness. And if we look at this from a volume perspective, yeah, still says the same. What is a little level in between which we can hold though would be this. So we're getting a little bit of a sandwich in between, but if we lose this, I think we should at least see this level. Right, that we should take out these wicks before continuing up. Because you need to know how the people trade. They take a trade and they use a stop loss, right? Everyone should use a stop loss as long as you're swinging or intraday trading. You just need a stop loss. So how do people use these stops regularly? They position themselves in a long at lows, right? Where do they put their stop loss? Below those lows. Right, so around here, if someone had a better sniper entry, they are maybe positioned here with a stop right around here. So if we trade into this, all of these long traders will be stopped out, which would be quite nice. So yeah, these will be those sandwich levels, but keep this level in mind that if we really get some sort of impulse here, we could be reversing from this point already instead of trading all the way into this. So let's go over the last one, which I have to write down a little bit different. Right here we have bonk, which clearly is that gainer of the day. My brother Vector called it in the Discord. Quite nice. I really missed out on this one. I was looking at all the other memes besides bonk, to be honest. Like 2 days ago, a friend of mine notified me about it, but I was trading Miro and Pengu instead. So both of them pretty much moved quite similar percentages, but this just gave a little bit of a better impulse in terms of time duration for the trade. So I would have been better off trading this one instead, but this currently, yeah, we should see that we have this naked POC here, which currently is getting taken out. So what should we know? We can do two things: roll over, back at least into here, maybe even into here, right? Where we have this scanner, and here we have our current value area low. So let's say we close the day a little bit bullish, like right around here, then this becomes your value area low, and then we could get a hold right around here. So this should look quite logical, but yeah, it's really a moment where everything is trading into resistance, so need to be a little bit more on the safe side for now. And then next one, Fartcoin, which has also had a pretty good bounce. Let's see. Yeah, we've analyzed this earlier, where this was that scenario we were watching, and quite sure it was trading below, where I stated we want to see it get above, hold, and then we can look at this upside. So yeah, for me, this is the exact same bias. And if we look at the trend scanner on our 1 day, yeah, this just looks quite bullish. Yeah, I don't see any concerns for altcoin. It just has been a little bit slower than the rest, but it's quite logical when you know that this went up like 700% from the lows. So this is looking like the one of the weaker pairs actually, which is quite interesting for altcoin. So knowing that this usually is either a legger or a first mover, this could move quite fast in my opinion over the few coming days. So keep your eyes on this as well. So I hope you liked the video. I wanted to incorporate these types of indicators a little bit today, so you guys can see the strength of them, because it's quite literally that I can just get any chart. Really doesn't matter. I don't need to know anything about the fucking chart, but I can quickly see, okay, we're trending down, right? Okay, we cleared this level and we're still trending up, right? What could be logical? A retest of this, right? So these are the types of indicators that are really easy to use, especially when you're using this. We have, wait, what? It's removed, it looks like. Okay, well, we had the crypto screener, or the stock screener, where you can quickly go over a lot of charts and just go through them. Because I can do the exact same on my current watch list, where we have banana sitting. So let's wait for the volume profile to load. Currently back towards an uptrend. Right, let's see how it's holding here. See how the volume profile is currently having a previous value area high here, which is currently resistance. Virtual also currently retesting both ways, yet this one has not flipped bullish again. You can clearly see that this is still trending down for now, but your lower time frame trend has already flipped bullish. But that higher time frame trend is still bearish. Look when it flipped, right around here, even had a fake flip, which it does not do quite often. But here we already see how this is taking the trend in a smooth way, right? So yeah, right now this one is currently trading down as well, but on the lower time frames, it's technically starting an uptrend. So how do we call this? We don't call this a trend, we call this an emerging trend. It's trying to make this trend. When is the real trend? When both have been flipped bullish and price is really trending up. This is just emerging. When is it a proper trend? When we see some shit like this, and then it starts going back up. So from this point, I would say it is really in a trend. Right now, it's an emerging trend, because we can still do some shit like this, right? But the moment you start doing something like this, it becomes really invalidated for us to trade back towards these lows. So this is an emerging trend versus existing trend. Yeah, here we have a beautiful example where this little part is your emerging trend, where it is not really confirmed. Here we get a higher low with a compression. So what did we do at the meantime? We cleared previous highs and a previous low, which now here we have a real trend. In the meantime, it flipped the scanner at the exact same time. So I wanted to point out this way of analysis. I might do this more often, but I find it way more useful for alts than for BTC, because BTC is just mainly following volume and liquidity. So keep it in mind, watch the levels that currently it's this high for BTC, and we really wouldn't like to lose this area, which would actually just retest it, I see. Yeah, we just retested this. So this can be a continuation, but what would be your invalidation if we break below this point, right? We don't want to be trading back below this again, because otherwise we will most likely retrace back into here. So the video was a bit longer than I expected, but I hope you guys liked it. It's a bit more in depth, especially on those alts, where I just point out a simple trend scanner and volume profile, which, remember how you guys can draw this. This is just based on 1 day of price action. So I just made it automated, but before I built this thing, it's quite simple. You get this fixed range profile and you point it out from the 1 day close, which for me is 2, so it goes from 2 till 2 o'clock, right? And then those levels can be used on the following day. And you just keep repeating the process, but I will start repeating the process, so I automated it. So I hope you guys liked the video. Without more having said, like usual, keep trading, guys. Goodbye.